Hello aspirants, welcome back to our channel Smart Preparation to Success. As a part of our TGPSC group on daily answer writing, today we are going to discuss day 65 and 66 answers. Let's start. First question, government policies for backward classes in India aim at social justice but face implementation challenges. Discuss the constitutional provisions, major schemes and critically analyze their effectiveness. Government policies for backward classes aim to ensure social justice and equality by addressing historical discrimination and socio-economic deprivation. Constitutional provisions, Article 15.4 and 15.5, special provisions for advancement in education. Article 16.4, reservation in public employment. Article 46, promotion of education and economic interest of weaker sections. 102nd Amendment 2018 Constitutional Status to National Commission for Backward Classes. Policies and schemes. Reservation policy, 27% reservation for OBCs in education and government jobs. National Commission for Backward Classes safeguards rights. Scholarships, pre-metric, post-metric and merit cum means schemes. Creamy layer concept excludes affluent sections to ensure target benefits. Effectiveness and achievements. Increased representation in education and public services, improved literacy and employment opportunities, social mobility amongst several OBC groups. Challenges, implementation gaps, poor awareness, bureaucratic delays, inclusion and exclusion errors, dominant OBC's corner benefits, regional disparities, uneven development across states, limited private sector inclusion. Conclusion, while policies have advanced social justice, better targeting, data driven inclusion, and effective implementation are needed to ensure equitable benefits across all backward communities. Second question, minority welfare policies in India focuses on inclusion and equality. Yet disparities persist. Examine policies and programs for minorities and compare their outcomes with the for backward classes. Minority welfare policies in India emphasize inclusion and equality, yet disparities persist when compared to outcomes for backward classes. Policies for minorities. Article 29 and 30 protect cultural and educational rights. Ministry of Minority Affairs schemes, pre-post metric scholarships, merit cum means scholarships, skills and leadership. PM 15-point program focuses on education, employment and infrastructure. Multi-sectoral development programs, area-based development. Outcomes for minorities, improvement in literacy focuses on access to education. However, lower workforce participation, higher poverty and educational dropouts persist. Comparison with backward classes. BC policies stronger due to reservation in jobs and education. Minorities, lack of reservation limits impact targeting. BC policies are caste-based and more structured. Minority schemes are broader and less enforceable. Outcomes, BC show relatively better representation in public institutions than minorities. Challenges, overlapping identities create policy gaps, poor implementation and awareness, socio-cultural barriers. Conclusion, BC policies have yielded stronger outcomes due to reservation-based support. Minority welfare requires better targeting, convergence with cash-based schemes and stronger implementation to reduce persistent disparities. First question, environmental policies in India aim to balance economic development with ecological sustainability, but challenges remain in implementation. Critically examine this statement, suggest measures to improve the effectiveness of environmental policies in India. Environmental policies in India are guided by the principle of sustainable development, which seeks to balance economic progress with ecological protection. Constitutional provisions such as Article 48A and Article 51AG, along with laws like the Environment Protection Act 1986, from the basis of India's environmental governance. Important policies. India has adopted several important policies and initiatives such as National Environmental Policy 2006, National Action Plan on Climate Change, renewable energy missions, afforestation programs, and pollution control laws. These measures aim to reduce carbon emissions, conserve biodiversity, and promote green growth. Implementation, weak enforcement mechanisms, poor coordination among agencies, lack of public awareness, and insufficient funds often reduce policy effectiveness. Rapid urbanization, industrial expansion, deforestation, and rising pollution levels continue to rear ecological sustainability. In many cases, environmental impact assessments are not conducted regionally, leading to environmental degradation. Effectiveness, India must strengthen monitoring institutions, ensure transparency in approvals, encourage public participation, and adopt advanced technologies for pollution tracking. Greater emphasis should also be placed on state level implementation and local governance. Conclusion, thus, while India's environmental policies are progressive in intent, the real success depends on strong implementation, accountability, and people's participation to achieve sustainable and inclusive development. Second question, India's population policy has evolved from population control to population stabilization and human development. Discuss the key features of India's population policy and evaluate its success in addressing demographic challenges. India's population policy has evolved from population control to population stabilization and human development. The National Population Policy 2000 marked a major shift towards reproductive health and informed choice. Policy focuses achieving replacement level fertility, improving material and child health, delaying marriage age, promoting female education, emphasizes voluntary participation in reproductive rights. India has achieved significant progress with fertility rates declining in many states and improvements in literacy and health indicators. Women's empowerment, urbanization have further supported demographic transition. Regional disparities remain significant. Some states continue to have fertility rates while issues such as early marriages, inadequate healthcare access, and gender inequality persist. Additionally, challenges like population aging and unemployment aiming youth require policy attention. Conclusion: overall, India's population policy have been largely successful, but future effort must focus on human capital development, healthcare access, and balanced regional growth to fully address demographic challenges. So, these are the four answers. For further more videos, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.